Hello everybody, warm welcome back. Yaje here, excited to share yet another gardening video with you. I am super pumped for today's video because we are going to be talking about my favorite vegetable, the fluted pumpkin or the UGU, and how to grow them successfully in bags. Hello everybody, warm welcome back. Yaje here, super excited to share yet another gardening video with you. I am super pumped for today's video because we're going to be talking about what is quickly becoming one of my favorite vegetables, the fluted pumpkin or the UGU or the okogobong. Today we are going to answer the question, can you successfully grow the UGU or the fluted pumpkin in bags? We're going to talk about who this is for, like who should consider growing the fluted pumpkin in bags. We're going to talk about some of the advantages and then the disadvantages. And if you stick around, I am going to show you my process, how I got this UGU to look so good in bags. I will tell you what you need, what to do, the soil preparation, and so on and so forth. If we're just meeting for the first time, hello and welcome. I am Yaje and I do grow these culturally important vegetables in my garden here in Zone 9A. This is small space gardening, as you can see. So space is not a limitation. I can touch the end of this wall and touch the end of this wall. If you have this much space, you can grow vegetables and I will teach you how. All you need to do, my people, is to subscribe to this channel. Help your friend, help your sister, help me grow. Subscribe, share my videos, give a thumbs up, comment, all of those things help me get my videos to a bigger audience. Thank you all so much for the support. So today we're going to be talking about sack farming UGU. That is how it is referred to in Nigeria, right? Sack farming. It just means that you're growing your vegetables in containers, in this case in bags. Back home in Nigeria they would use like real bags. I'm going to show you how one of those bags look like, but here we can use a fabric bag or a grow bag or quite frankly any container. So let's talk about why you should grow this in bags, who this is for. First, somebody that has small space. This is a very small space, okay? If you have a small space and you want to grow something like the fluted pumpkin, you should consider doing so in a grow bag, in a container, in a sack, whatever, in a vessel. The second person this is for, people living in apartments, right? You want to grow one or two, just enough to get some vegetables for your soup, you can use grow bags. The third person this is for is if you have your soil that is not very fertile, you know, it is not draining well, it is waterlogged, that kind of stuff, you can consider using a container. That way you control the quality of the soil, you control the drainage, and so on and so forth. And then if you are like me, I have a backyard, a little bigger space, but then I managed to have a lot of these plants. Now I have like excess. Putting them in containers is a good idea. Now let's talk about the advantages of growing the fluted pumpkin in a container or in a grow bag. Number one, it is portable. Like I can just lift this and move it to a different location if I so wish. Like say for example, I am moving and I have my plants in a container. If I'm moving, I can lift it and take it along with me. So that is one advantage. It is very portable and you can move it from one location to another. The second advantage is that you can control the quality of the soil. You know, you can mix whatever ingredients, mix nutrients, mix whatever that you need in a concentrated space. So you can control the quality of the soil when you grow vegetables, including the fluted pumpkin, in containers or in a grow bag. And then the third advantage I can think about is you can, if you have a small space, like you live in an apartment, you don't have a backyard, you can still grow vegetables. Now let's look at some of the disadvantages. What I can think about is when you grow vegetables in containers, including the fluted pumpkin, you need to really be on top of your watering schedule, because if you don't water regularly, then your plants might die because the roots don't have anywhere else to go to look for water. When you plant vegetables in ground and you don't water, the roots can go, they can spread to look for water. But when it's confined to a space like in a container, it cannot go to look for water, so you can damage your plants if you're not consistent with the watering. So you need to keep on top of your watering schedule. Same can be said for feeding. You need to make sure that you're giving your plants enough nutrients in that space, again, because that's all, the roots are right here. If you had the plants in the garden, it can go and look for food, but when it's here, it cannot look for food. So you need to make sure that you're giving it enough water and enough nutrients. Another disadvantage for the ugu when you're growing it in a container is that you can't probably grow it to a point where it produces like the pod. So for me, these ones that I'm growing in containers is for consumption of the leaves, so I can just cut the vine regularly and keep it in this space. So just some of the advantages and the disadvantages to consider to see if growing the ugu in a container is something that is right for you. Now let's talk about how I got these to be this way, my process, the soil quality, and the type of container that I used. So here is what is referred to as a fabric bag. They are very popular nowadays. I have been recommending them. You just need to do a search on Amazon and you'll find a bunch of them, but I'm going to put a link in the description box that you can click on to get you a fabric bag if you are looking for some. They have different qualities. You find some that are very cheap, very affordable, and you also find some that are pricey. The pricier ones can last longer. The cheaper ones are not going to last very long. You get what you pay for, right? So I use the fabric bag, and I use a 5-gallon fabric bag. That is the minimum size I am going to recommend because this is a heavy feeder. You can use a bigger bag. It just means that you're paying for more potting soil to put in the bag. So I think 5 gallons is okay. If this does not go right, I am going to let you know. But what I have here, 5-gallon containers. And then I filled it up with potting mix soil. So potting mix soil is controlled for drainage, so it drains. You don't just want to go get topsoil and put in bags. It's not going to drain properly and it can suffocate your roots. That is not good. You want to make sure that when you put water there, it drains. Potting mix soil is also controlled for a water retention. So it's supposed to drain water but then also retain water so that there's moisture in there. Otherwise it dries up really quickly since it is not in the earth. Okay, so potting mix soil is what I have in here. You can buy it or you can make yours. It's a mix of compost, I put peat moss, and I put some vermiculite, and in addition to that I put a lot of poultry manure in here. If you want ugu that looks green like this, what you need is poultry manure if you're doing it organically. Okay, poultry manure has a lot of nitrogen, urea. That's because chicken poop has both the pee and the poop. Other animals pee, that's where the urea comes from, and then the poop, but chicken just send out one stuff that has the poop and the pee, and so that is why poultry manure is always a good idea for ugu, so because you need that nitrogen, the urea. Other people that are doing this, not organic farming, they can buy urea and use, but I've just added a lot of chicken manure to the soil, and so this is what I have. I have some pallets here, and the idea is it's going to climb along the pallet and it's going to get sunlight that way. Some of you have asked me if growing ugu in this space where it is partially shaded, well, today is an overcast, it's a cloudy day, but this area is kind of partially shaded, which is why this is perfect here, because it is going to climb and find sunlight over here and find enough sunlight over here. So it is going to be okay. I have cultivated peppers in this area before and they did very well. So I know that something like the ugu is going to do well as well. Click or tap on the screen to see how I transplanted the fluted pumpkin into grow bags. I'm also going to put a link in the description box below. Today is April the 4th. It has been 3 days since I transplanted these fluted pumpkins. Just look at how gorgeous they look. They are beginning to find the pallets that I have over here. I'm hoping that they are going to climb along the pallets and then get to the fence, but I'm going to be harvesting them regularly. Just look. These are the UGUs that I planted on the 8th of March, and today is the 4th of April, so they're not yet quite 1 month old yet. They germinated in about 2 to 3 weeks. So since germination, maybe it's been a week or two, and this is what we have. I think it's about a foot tall. See, the ugu, these are the eyes of the ugu. These little tendrils, they find surfaces to attach to so that it can climb. It's looking so good. It's looking so good. It's very, very healthy. Look, very healthy.